Hello everybody and welcome to Game Control, a new project I'm starting here on the FighterFilms channel, where not only do I learn how to get good at the game, I teach you how I got good at the game. That being said, our first game of this project will be Valorant. Today we will be teaching you how to get out of the lower ranks, but not like the other YouTubers do it. I'll be teaching you how I got out of the lower ranks, such as Iron, Bronze, and Silver, starting today with some basic tips for Iron players. Now, before we hop into anything too crazy, let's give you a little tidbit on Valorant. Valorant is an FPS game, yes, but it's not like these other FPS games like COD and Battlefield. I would describe it more as a team-based strategic shooter. There is a lot that goes into play here, unlike some of your casual shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield. That being said, I want to teach you guys a couple things that helped me, Hunter, and my cousin Braden in developing our skills and getting better at the game from an early stage in the game. First thing I want to point out is that the base speed for movement in Valorant is our run. This is our sprint, what we're doing now. And holding the shift key will allow you to walk, not only making it silent, but easier to aim, which we'll get into that later. The basis of movement in Valorant is based on this. The normal speed is your running speed, or your jog speed, and you have to hold shift in order to walk. Walking makes you completely silent and can allow you to get the jump on your enemies if they don't know you are there. It also allows for easier aim. In every Valorant video, you will hear something like this. Them talking about aiming and movement and all these things. The easiest way that I learned it is to pretty much let go of your keyboard when you see an enemy. This isn't the best tip in the world, but this is how I learned, which is kind of what this series is about. So, instead of running and shooting when you're trying to hit your target, like if I try to hit this arrow right here, all of my bullets went all over the place, even though my reticle is in that area, right? It's because running makes you have the craziest shooting error in any game ever. Running and gunning has been a thing in many FPSs, but not in Valorant. So do not run, being that normal speed, while shooting. You will never hit your target. Even walking, you're not necessarily going to hit your target either, which is really weird. So like, oh, hey Logan, how do I hit my target if I can't run or walk? You stop completely. Pretty much lift your fingers off your keyboard. So opposed to this, or the walking version, opposed to this, literally see my enemy, shoot. If I hold it down, yes, we are going to get that recoil, but that recoil is way more controlled than the sporadic shooting all over the place. This is how I learned. For example, we're going to do this training course, and I'm going to show you guys, one, what not to do, and then what to do. Going in with not to do, I'm running around, I'm looking for the enemies. Oh, the enemy over there. I'm running and shooting. Oh man, there's another one over here. I'm running away. I probably did not hit them a singular time because of my running and shooting. Now, look back at this. Now compare the two clips on what to do and what not to do. All right, now when I see my enemy, I'm going to completely stop and then shoot at them. See how much of a difference it makes. So I'm running around, right, I'm still running. See him? Boom. Not only did I hit a headshot, but I hit my bullets, period. All right, going into the next one. Any more enemies around? There's another one right here. Boom. See how I just completely stopped and aimed at him? If I had moved around and then did it, I would have went all over the place. So, something that I do in Valorant, which has helped me a lot, not only climbing through the ranks, but just getting more kills, is as soon as you see an enemy, so I'm running, I see an enemy, stop. I literally just let go. I'm not even joking. I let go of my keyboard. I don't like keep my mouse on or my fingers on top of it. My fingers literally come off the WASD buttons. It might be a bad habit, but that has what's gotten me this far. I know at first glance these tips can seem basic, but that's kind of the point. This video is to help those who are not only in very low ranks, such as Iron, but also to help those who have probably never played the game or a type of game like this. That being said, the tips that I'm talking about, the tips that I'm introducing, the things that I'm trying to get across are all very simple, but if you become a master of the basics, you'll be higher rank in no time. So that's kind of the purpose of this. Something that has proved to be really difficult in my Valorant journey, as well as others, specifically my cousin, is using abilities during a fight. The reason we may do this is because we're freaking out, we're going all over the place, we're trying to shoot and we're trying to do all these things, but fear will kill you in Valorant. 100% of the time. You have to be confident in your actions, or it will result in some funny clip where you die very easily. But that being said, some abilities may be a good idea to use in battle. For instance, Jet's E. It allows me to dash out of combat. So if I come around this corner, remember I stop. We're using that stop mechanic, and then I can dash out. That's fine, but using other abilities may result in death. For instance, let's say there's an enemy right around this. If I come over here and I have the chance to kill him, but getting scared, I use an ability to try to get out, and I use my Q, which literally just makes me jump in the air. This 9 times out of 10 is going to get me killed, because all that time I wasted being in the air, I could have used to shoot him. So, try not to use your abilities in a fight when scared, unless they are for good use. Speaking of not using your abilities in combat when scared, try to learn the abilities. Going to a training range, going to a custom game, learn how the characters work. Each character in Valorant has a set of abilities, that being 3 abilities and then an ultimate. Now, familiarize yourself with every agent's ability. Now, this might sound like a lot because there's quite a few agents in a game, but if you know how an agent works, not only will you be able to play them better in game, maybe even find your main, but you also have to learn how the enemy thinks. You're like, oh, I'm facing a Jet right now, right? The Jet might have smokes. They might smoke off an area. I know they have smokes, so I need to do this based on them having smokes, etc. There's a lot of ways to get better at a agent, but if you don't know the agents in the first place, that is a great place to start. It definitely helped me. That's one of my favorite things to do when I get a new game, is I always just try out all the characters. Not only to find my main, but I then get to learn what all the characters do. I don't end up dying to something and be like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Because you do know. You do know. Another absolutely crucial tip in Valorant that is not talked about enough is, when do I walk and when do I run? I know we touched base on that earlier. On the running is our normal speed, and the walking is that shift speed. As you see in the top left corner, we have our minimap. On the minimap, when I'm moving around, when I'm doing the running, you can see a gargantuan circle. What is that circle, you may ask? That is where your footsteps are heard, if that makes sense. Outside of this circle, they cannot hear your footsteps, but inside this circle, so for instance, I'm hovering around here at A, they can hear my footsteps. This is how you know when to walk and when to run. I've actually used this thousands of times in actual games. And as you can see, when I walk, there's no circle because you're completely silent. But if I'm running into A, they're gonna know. But if I'm walking into A, I may be able to not only catch someone off guard, but they won't know exactly where I am. They may just think you're in a certain position. That being said, you want to run when you know no one's in that circle or near that circle, because they might run into it. Everyone has the same area of effect. They all have the same footstep radius. There's not some characters don't have other radiuses, but going into this, so for instance, if I was to go into here, I'm gonna mark B tunnel. So you see my footsteps? They can hear that. They can hear that since they're in it. But if I am all the way out here, away from where that ping was, they will not be able to hear my walking. Or running, I guess is better said. But yes, I feel like this is super important, especially for new people. But even the pros, I guarantee the pros still look at their map. Now that we've gone over the bare bone basics, we'll get into more of the gunplay / gameplay for those of you who have never played or are in a low rank. Right here I have the Vandal, one of the 2 weapons that are critically acclaimed to be the best and statistically the best. We have our Vandal, which is kind of our AK variant. It's a heavy hitter, but has more recoil than something like the Phantom. The Phantom has less recoil, less of a spread than something like the Vandal, but isn't as heavy as a hitter. So, for instance, if we go into the buy menu and look at the stats, right now we have the Phantom. If you look on the right side of the screen, we see our head, body, and leg damage from certain distances. Right now, we're just going to focus on that 15 to 30 meter, that middle column. So a headshot with this will not necessarily one-shot at that range, but will still do a lot of damage, as opposed to the Vandal does 160 damage to the head at any range. That being said, it will one-shot from all distances. That isn't to say that the Vandal is necessarily better, but it does hit harder. But if you have trouble controlling it, then the Phantom is probably your choice. Now, as you can imagine, aim is probably one of the most important parts of Valorant, and that's probably where you feel like you're lacking. So, in order to fix this, I'm gonna put more emphasis on what I talked about at the start of the video, making sure you're not moving or getting scared in a gunfight. That being said, I have my cursor around here. Again, just finding a sensitivity that's comfortable for you is the go-to. If you guys want a sensitivity video, I can tell you sort of how I got mine. But that being said, you have your cursor here, and so putting it on the head, again, we're using the Vandal, so it's gonna one-shot no matter what. You can tap fire, just getting these little taps, always nice. But this isn't a real scenario, so obviously you may be able to hit more of your shots in the range here. But, so, what I like to do, and what I think is probably the best method to getting better at it, is learning to walk, stop, move your cursor, shoot. Obviously, aiming for the head is better than the said body or legs. You can tell by the damage here. But, again, I've been playing the game much longer, so doing these taps for me may be easier than you guys, but that's why I'm starting this journey so early, is because I'm not the best at the game, but I want to learn how to be the best so I can teach you guys correctly. That being said, I even get a spray. We're going to aim, we're going to move, I'm going to completely stop, and then aim. I'm going to hold my mouse down. Holding it down for too long may cause the recoil to kick up crazy high, and you're not even anywhere near your target. The bullets may climb their body and eventually kill them, but look, the guys behind them, I'm not even hitting because it climbed so high. So in order to prevent that, what I like to do is either tap shooting, just clicking your mouse one button, or burst shooting, just shooting a couple bullets at a time. Learning how to tap fire, just clicking your mouse once, and how to burst fire will be super helpful for you guys in the long run. So I'm gonna move completely, stop, move my mouse to him, burst fire, boom, just like that. Now even to look at their body this time, move to it, burst fire, boom, 2 bursts, boom, 2 bursts, boom, 2 bursts. Obviously, we want to aim for the head, but in a real scenario, you may not be able to aim for the head. I feel like this will help you a lot in the long run, because the way to go from a new player to someone who knows a little bit is by learning these basic mechanics. Walking when you need to, not sprinting all the time, not sprinting while firing, making sure that you don't walk while firing either, but just stopping and shooting. I genuinely think that's the hardest part for newer players. If you guys disagree, please let me know in the comments. This has definitely been out of my comfort zone in terms of the videos I typically make, but I'm more than happy to help anyone that needs help with the game. If there's any tips you guys think that I missed, please let me know. I know it wasn't the craziest video, but I hope you guys learned a little bit out of it. The next video will be bronze, getting how I got out of bronze, and I'll give you guys more tips there as well if you guys are looking for it. But without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys were able to get more control out of your game from watching this video. You know the rules. Stay awesome and join the fight, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Alright guys, well, without further ado, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This is much out of my comfort zone, but I do hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm hoping to make some more videos for you guys like this in the future. I want to help you guys out as much as possible, as well as get good with you guys. So, with all that being said, if you want to find out somewhere else to find us, I stream on Twitch pretty much throughout the entire week, except Wednesdays, at 3 p.m. EST if you're looking to join twitch.tv/FighterFilms with a Z. And yeah, as always, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome and join the fight. Peace.